Now let's now go to the Ministry of Finance, where the Pensioner Bondholders Forum are continuing their picketing of the ministry. Today, they are joined by Arise Ghana. My colleague James Aveji joins us live. What can you tell us, James? All right, James, if you can hear me, what can you tell us is happening at the ministry now?
Okay, Bray, so it is day 8 of the Pensioner Bondholders Forum picketing right here at the Ministry of Finance. This morning, they have converged once again with one voice, a total exemption from the domestic debt exchange program, which they have been calling for the past week and a half. Now, almost every day get attraction from one personality to the other, and this morning is the Arise Ghana group joining them to solidarize with them. I see a member of some few of them. I see Mr. Mensa Thompson, I see Rex Omar, I see Oliver Bakavoma, all joining hands to be here this morning to solidarize with the retired citizens of this country. Mr. Mensa Thompson will be joining me to have a short conversation on why it has become necessary to be here this morning. Now, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You have had a press conference just a few days ago talking about the economy. Why has it become necessary to be here with the pensioners bondholders to picket at the Ministry of Finance?
Well, it's because we feel that this government is becoming extremely insensitive to the plight of our senior citizens. You know, there's a saying that says that a nation that does not honor its heroes is not worth dying for. These are people, these are our heroes, people who have served this country in various capacities. And they've gone through retirement, and the monies that they've put aside to take care of themselves so they don't become a burden on their families, the government insists that that is the only way it can revive the economy, is to take away those monies from these vulnerable people. Especially in a country where we don't have any social protection plan for the aged. In other jurisdictions, they have cards that they can take trains for free, they can take buses for free, they can take certain medications for free. We don't have any social protection plan for the aged. And so, if we don't have anything to give them, we shouldn't be taking away from them. This is extremely insensitive.
But the government says this is a sacrifice that has become necessary because it has no money to run the economy.
So it should sacrifice we, the young people, and not our aged. And if the government feels that maybe these elderly people don't have people to speak for them, and that is why it is treating them this way, that they have to sit here for only God knows how long before the government want to listen to them. And that is why we, the young people, we have come. That we want the government to know that what they are doing to these old people, they are doing to us. Because tomorrow we shall also grow and become like them. And so we won't sit down and allow the government to treat them this way. And so if the government doesn't listen to them and exempt them from the debt exchange program, we, the young people in this country, will rise up strongly and make sure that they do the right thing. Because this is extremely unacceptable, extremely inexplicable.
Now, are you just going to add up to the numbers here to picket, or you are bringing something else on board?
Well, we are here to solidarize with them first, and also to bring them some water. And to let them know that we are truly behind them in spirit, whether we are here or not. And that at any point during the negotiations with government, if there's any intervention, any support, we are willing to provide that support. We are here representing the young people of this country, and to also let the government know that we are not happy about what it is doing to our mothers and fathers and our grandfathers. We are not happy. And the voice is very clear. The government should not underestimate the voices of young people, especially if it feels that the voice of the elderly is weak. Then the voice of the young people is strong, because we have the energy to march on the street and do things that the government may not be happy.
Is there the possibility of hitting the street on behalf of them, because they have indicated that they might have not have that strength to hit the street, and so this is the best they can do? Is there the possibility of Arise Ghana hitting the street on their behalf?
Very soon. very soon, if we don't see any strong indication that government is going to exempt these pensioners, these retirees from the debt exchange program, we are willing to mobilize the young people on the street of this country and send a strong, we've done it before. You remember when the government didn't want to go to the IMF, Arise Ghana, we rose up with a 2-day demonstration. And that 2-day demonstration sent strong signals, not just Ghana, but across the world. And so, in fact, if government does not listen to these elderly people, what is going to happen in the next demonstration is going to even be bigger than what we did the last time.
Thank you so much. So that is Mensa Thompson, one of the conveners of the Arise Ghana a group, who are also here this morning to solidarize. I saw Oliver Bakavoma or somewhere. We'll be interacting with him to know whether he's also representing. We know he's one of the conveners for Fix Ghana or Fix the Country, and so we'll know whether he's representing them or he's part of that and what message he has. But that is what he has been telling. Let's pick some thought from the convener for the group. He's been saying something about getting some audience from Parliament. We would like him to share that with us. Have you got any audience with Parliament, and what's that about?
Well, we are doing the engagement, talking to Parliament. Yesterday we were there. We were able to get a majority leader to speak with. We were trying to get a minority leader. We didn't get him, but whilst we were coming out of Parliament, we met him, and he promised he was going to call me yesterday in the evening. I believe maybe some other things took his time, so he couldn't call. When I called, it was very late. So
have they agreed on a meeting with you?
We have a meeting that has been scheduled by the Speaker's office. So we are we are going to the Speaker's office at 3 o'clock today.
At 3 o'clock today?
Yes.
What exactly are you going to tell him?
No, we are going to explain our situation to the minister, to the speaker. We want Parliament to understand what we are doing, especially when the issue about exemption and self-exemption and issuer exemption, where you get people to understand. I'm happy, since I started explaining this, people have come to realize that, yes, there is difference between when I decide to opt out and when you, the issuer, exempt me. That's what we want to impress on Parliament to understand and then help us get what we want.
Okay, so that is the convener for the Bondholders Forum, Dr. Eduana Nientri, saying that they have a meeting with Parliament, the leadership of Parliament, especially the Speaker, at 3 p.m. to put their issues to him officially. Joining me here is Oliver Bakavoma. I'm interested in knowing which of the groups he's representing this morning. Are you with Arise Ghana this morning, or you are representing Fix the Country?
You've always known which group I belong to, and so there's no question about that. I think the most important thing is that...
So you are representing Arise Ghana?
Well, first of I've never been a member of Arise Ghana. There's no question about that. You know that I've always been with Fix the Country. Okay. And with Fix the Country, I've talked about joining individuals here to support the process for how we lift young, old people who are in these times of serious government repression and to provide that support to them. So that's why we are here today.
Apart from solidarizing with them to picket here, are there any other actions you would be embarking on should government not listen to the plight?
Well, our whole advocacy has been about pushing back on governmental repression. We've continued that business. Just a couple of weeks ago, in Tamale, and over 10,000 people showed up onto the streets to do exactly that. We will continue our regular activities. And where it is important to show solidarity to groups who are speaking up in moments like this, we'll do that. My understanding is that their intention is to meet the Speaker of Parliament at 3 p.m. today, and tomorrow as well be in Parliament where the Finance Minister comes there. We'll continue to provide that support to them. But it is important that when we show up today, that tomorrow would also show up for us, and that's what is critical now.
There are people who hold the view that this whole exercise is not worth it because government has stated their position. You can opt out voluntarily because government says they do not have the money to pay these people. Do you share the same thoughts?
I think it is the highest level of immorality that government will get into this business where they are looking to underwrite their responsibility with people's pensions and livelihoods. It should never have been part of the conversation in the first place. And these people are right to be here. Now, it's also important that, for me, whenever government speaks, that we take the time to listen clearly and scrutinize that. The government issued a statement yesterday, in fact, where it's saying that it was going to uphold the voluntary commitments according to government's own fiscal commitments, not in according to the terms of the contracts that they have with these people. And when these things happen, we know where this is going. This kind of language have led us to in the past. In fact, there was coupons which were due on February 6th which have not been paid. So let's not assume that once government has spoken and that's it. If we believed government in the first place, we shouldn't even be having a haircut. Because the president himself went on national TV and told this nation there was not going to be any haircut. But we are in a situation whereby whenever government speaks, it's nothing but doubt and uncertainty. That's why these people are showing up and speaking in this manner.
That is one of the conveners for Fix the Country, and he's also here on behalf of his group. So that's what they've been saying, that it has become necessary for them to add their weight and their message to what the call of the pensioner bondholders have been for the past 8 weeks. And so we look forward to how it plays out. They said they have meeting with the speaker at 3 p.m. We'll see what comes out of that meeting as well. So Brace, that's the latest on the grounds here.
All right, so thank you very much. James Aveji is our man on the ground there now.